Hi everyone, it's Marla here, and today I'm doing a special video in honor of the 2026 IOD Spring Release. It is full of so many beautiful, beautiful transfers, inlays, molds, and stamps that I couldn't wait to get my hands on it and start making some projects. So for this video, I'll show you 3 quick, simple upcycles that are absolutely beautiful. For project 1, I started out with this clipboard that I picked up for $1 at the thrift store. This one is really old. The gentleman said he thought it was probably from in the 60s. Now, I've never upcycled clipboards before, but I've seen a lot of people do it, and they turn out beautiful. The first thing I had to do was really clean it up. It had some tape stuck to it. It had the name Vince up in the corner that came through 2 layers of paint, luckily not the 3rd. After I got it clean, I then gave it a coat of DIY's White Swan. I knew it was going to take at least 2 coats of paint to cover up the name Vince and some of the tape that was left on there. So I switched to Fusion's mineral paint in raw silk because it wasn't as bright white as the DIY White Swan. And then I went to the new paint inlay from the Spring Release and chose the picture of this Victorian woman. Absolutely beautiful. And so I cut it out, and then once I got it out of the book, I decided to try and cut a little bit closer to prevent panty lines in my paint. I then laid down another coat of Fusion mineral paint in raw silk, and when you do this, you need to make sure that you put down enough paint that your inlay has something to adhere to. I sprayed the paint side of the inlay with water and then laid it down. The nice thing about these is you can move them a little bit if they don't go down exactly where you want them the first time. After I had it laid down and smoothed out with my fingers, then I sprayed it again with water and dabbed off the excess with a towel. Once the inlay had dried, I brought it in and sprayed it with water, dabbed it off with a towel, and then waited about 30 seconds before removing the inlay from the clipboard. I was absolutely amazed at how well this inlay took to the paint. I think it is absolutely stunning. What do you think? I decided that the clipboard needed a little embellishment, considering that the lady was pretty fancy, and so I got out one of the new molds from the Spring Release and used a part of the swags and decided I would put those in the upper corners of the clipboard. I chose not to put any at the bottom because if you did clip a piece of paper to it, they would just be in the way. I made one for each side, and then I glued them to the top of the clipboard. In looking at the clip itself, I felt like it needed something, but I didn't want to paint it because it had a beautiful patina. And so I noticed some ribbons coming out of the top of the inlay, and I went back to this mold, the same one from the new Spring Release, and it had a beautiful little ribbon in it. And so I molded that ribbon and glued that to the clip itself. And then I made sure to go in and clean up any of the excess glue. Again, I like things that look distressed. If you don't, this would be a good place to stop and then just seal in your inlay. But I got out my finger sander and I started sanding all around the edges of the clipboard. I wanted it to have a very vintage look. I think it goes without saying that if the clipboard itself is distressed, then the inlay has to be distressed. It was a perfect inlay, but it still looked amazing even after I went over it with the sand paper. In fact, I think it looked even better because it did have that vintage look. And yet you could still see all the details and the woman's beautiful face. After I finished distressing it, I decided to seal it with clear wax. So this is DIY clear wax that I'm using. And I applied it to the entire clipboard and the molds. And then I went over the clear wax with dark wax. This is Fusion's furniture wax in espresso. And I like to use wax on the molds especially because I want it to get down into the details and bring those details forward And then you can go back with a paper towel and you can wipe off any of the excess. And that leaves the dark wax just down in those details. If you find that you have ever put too much dark wax on something, you can get out the clear wax and use it as sort of an eraser, as I did here. And then I still wanted my embellishments to stand out a little more, so I got out the raw silk paint. I put some on the brush and then wiped it off on the cardboard, and then used the remaining paint on the brush to dry brush over the tops of the molds. As I said earlier, this is the first clipboard I've upcycled, and I'm very, very happy with the way it turned out. The inlay I used is called Hameau de Lorraine, and the mold is Wreath and Swags. Believe it or not, for Project 2, I'm doing another clipboard. I couldn't resist this little clipboard when I saw it in the thrift store, and so I had also given it a coat of DIY White Swan. And here I'm going over that again with the Fusion Mineral Paint in raw silk. Instead of using a paint inlay, I decided to use one of the new stamps. Absolutely beautiful stamp, and I looked at it and thought, I don't really even need to take these stamps off of this. It almost looks like a beautiful Victorian wallpaper to me. And so I just measured how much of it would cover that small clipboard, and that's the portion of the stamp that I inked up with my IOD black ink. The name of this stamp is Palais de Fleurs, and it has to be one of my all-time favorites. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I very much love the Victorian era, and so this fits right into my style. And it was so easy using the stamp this way. I just pulled up the clip, laid the stamp underneath it, and then held the stamp with one hand while I rubbed gently with my fingers on the other hand, and it turned out perfect. I used some of the small birds from the stamp to fill in the blank areas. I decided I wanted to use a transfer on this as well, so I turned to one of the new transfer books called Flora Greca, again filled with the most beautiful transfers. And I found this bird that I fell in love with, decided I would put him up near the top, and then I went through the book and found some flowers that coordinated perfectly with the bird. I took a few minutes to lay out the look and decide where I wanted to put each of the transfers. And I don't always do this, but sometimes if I'm working along a straight edge, I will cut the transfer along one of the lines to give it a nice straight edge too. It helps with the positioning, plus I think it just looks cleaner. And so I did that with both of these transfers. I think IOD transfers are probably one of my favorite products. They are always so beautiful. There are so many options, and you can cut them apart, layer them, do anything you want with them, and just come out with the most beautiful products. If you've never used an IOD transfer, you really should try them. They go on like a breeze. I loved how this clipboard was looking, but I felt like it needed a little something more. And I went through the book and found the cutest bumblebees and the most beautiful butterflies. And I'm thinking of spring. I'm in California right now, and the weather has been amazing. 86 degrees yesterday. And so I really am in the mood for spring. And I love this little bumblebee. I put him above the flowers, and then I found a butterfly to put up in the upper left-hand corner near the bird. And then, because I don't like to waste anything, I took the little piece of the transfer that I had cut off and put it down at the bottom. It just added a couple of flowers and a leaf and looked perfectly natural right there in that spot. To seal in my transfers, I gave the whole thing a coat of DIY's Big Top. It's important that if you do use the transfers, you seal them in with either a top coat or wax. I have to admit that the clips on clipboards are not that great looking, and this was one I think that just says Staples, and so I decided to make a mold. This is from an old IOD mold, I think Classic Elements, to put over where it says Staples. And then after I got that glued on, I decided I would paint all of it and try to find a coordinating paint that would go well with my transfers. I went through all of the paint I had brought with me and was lucky to find this small jar of DIY water lily. I believe this probably came out of one of Sonnet's Maker's boxes. Anyway, it really brought out the blue in the feathers of my bird, and so it was perfect. Once the paint dried, again, DIY paint has to be sealed because it does not have a top coat built in. You can use wax or top coat, and in this case, I decided to seal it with clear wax. If you know me, it's almost a given that if I use clear wax, I'm going to follow it up with some sort of dark wax. Again, I like things to have a vintage look. I don't like them to look like I just picked it up in the store. After I finished with the dark wax and wiped back the excess, then I got out some vintage gold rub and buff and decided to put a little bit of that on the mold, around the edges of the clip, and then a tiny bit around the edges of the clipboard itself. Gave it just a little bit of pizzazz. I think this clipboard turned out darling. I love all of the transfers. I love the background stamp. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. For project 3, I took a wooden tote that I had found at the thrift store. I think I paid $7 for it, which actually was a pretty good price for something this substantial. It kind of had a slick surface, and so I decided I'd better take my finger sander and sand it slightly. I wanted to use some white milk paint on it, and I didn't want all of it to chip off. I've had that happen before, and it's not fun. And so I took my finger sander and gave it a pretty good sanding around the outside and on the edges. I didn't have any intention of painting the inside, and so I didn't bother sanding that. After I'd wiped away all the sanding dust, I mixed up my milk paint. I'm using Sweet Pickens milk painted flour sack. It's a 1-to-1 ratio of milk paint powder to water. And you mix it up thoroughly and then let it set for about 10 minutes until it thickens up. And then you can go ahead and paint on your project. Generally, it takes 2 coats of milk paint, sometimes 3. However, for this project, I only had to give it 2 coats of milk paint. You can see here how much better the coverage is with that second coat of milk paint. After the paint had dried, then I gave it a thorough sanding. I did get some chipping and crazing. And then I went to what I believe is my favorite transfer book of all time, or pretty close to it. It's the brand new one from this release called Madeline, and it's the large transfer book. I can't even tell you how many gorgeous things are in this transfer book. As I'm flipping through the pages, like every page was, oh, I'm going to use this, and then I'd flip the page and find another one. When I flipped to this particular page and I saw that the bird that was a part of this set was this beautiful emerald green, I knew this is the one I was going to use because emerald green is my favorite color. I mentioned this in last Tuesday's video, but one of the easiest ways to get your transfer to stay in place and be exactly where you want it is to peel the gridded part back a little bit, fold the white piece underneath, lay down part of the transfer, and then you can pull out the rest of the white backing and your transfer will lay down right where you want it. See this bird? Is he not gorgeous? I added some transfers to the side of the box and then I sealed everything in with Big Top. And then to finish it off, I'm using my favorite antiquing paste. This is by Stamperia, and it's one of my favorites for giving that old vintage look to something. It's pretty strong. You want to make sure that you put it over a sealer. If you put it on paint that hasn't been sealed, it's kind of tough to get off. But again, you can use some clear wax as a sort of eraser for it. But I just love this. I think this is my third tube. I like to put mine on with a damp cloth or wet wipe. It gives me a little bit more control over where it goes. It also allows me to feather it out, and I always try to go in the same direction as the wood or the brush strokes, and then I put it over the areas where I had some crazing to bring out that crazing. I absolutely love how this tote turned out. These transfers are just gorgeous. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the projects I did for you today using some of the new IOD Spring Release. I'll be using more of their products for the video that I normally put out on Tuesdays. If you've never watched my videos, my name is Marla, and I am the owner and creator behind From Rust to Roses Vintage. I live in Las Vegas and have a booth at the Antique Mall of America. If you're not yet subscribed, I hope that you would please consider doing so. Give me a thumbs up, hype the video, anything you can do to help my channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. And as I said, leave me comments so I know what you like and maybe what you don't like. See you on Tuesday.